Okay, welcome. So we will continue with the data types. The remaining ones we'll quickly look at it in the new class. Let me call this as demo rather than data type demo 3. Yeah, so we in the previous examples we have seen integer, float, double, long, etc. Right? Now we will quickly look at the other two essentially the quick ones. So um, there are other two. One is called char. Okay? Character represents character. Yeah. So char is another primitive data type, just like int. Yeah. Just like float. Yeah. Char is going to hold. Let's say I have a variable of type character. It's going to hold one character, any single character, right? So this is going to store one character. The character could be English like character, or it could be even other language character also, because Java supports Unicode. Yeah, it can be even a number like this, but number is now stored as a character. Yeah, so I can save this, and let's say I can simply print this letter value. Yeah, so essentially that's a variable which is going to hold the character type. But remember one thing, all the characters internally in the system level are represented with numbers. For example, I can actually print the number version of this character by explicitly casting. Okay, this is called casting, explicitly type converting, yeah, the character to int. By writing this, I'm actually saying that I want this type, whatever it is, the char type, to be explicitly converted into integer. So that I want to see how letter A is actually stored in memory in using binary format, or basically the number format, right? So if I run this, so essentially you're going to see, yeah, A is going to be held in system as number 65. Yeah, so that's what exactly A is. Suppose if I take let's say a lowercase a, yeah, and it should be plus 32. Yeah, 97. So 65 plus 32. So that's how the character are actually stored. So char is a data type which holds one letter. Yeah, and as a quick thing, suppose if you wanted to convert, let's say this lowercase to uppercase. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply go for char, oops, char letter 2. Okay, let it be letter 1 plus, or in fact it is minus, because I wanted to convert it into this one. So letter 2, I wanted to print it. Yeah, so but here it is causing a problem. The problem here is, whenever char is a lower uh, precision than integer. So whenever there is an operation between char and integer, the result will be integer. Yeah, and we're trying to put it into character. So what we should do here, yeah, this is a character and this is an integer, and the result is integer. So I have to explicitly convert this to character. What this whole operation, whatever is done. Yeah, so now try to see the output of this. Yeah, so this is now uppercase A, because this is lowercase a, and in number it is represented as 97. 97 minus 32 is 65. So that 65 is what I'm trying to hold it in letter 2. But since 65 was number, I'm converting it into character format and displaying it. That's it. Yeah, so this is how you can use the character type. Yeah, now the next data type available is boolean, which is essentially going to store only two things, true or false. Yeah, so I can say, for example, is number, some variable is number. Yeah, I can say false. Yeah, so true or false are the two things that you can use with a boolean type. Yeah, and these two are keywords, so I can either use true or false. So remember one important thing, if you're coming from C, in C normally, like anything which is non-zero is true and zero is false, something like that they believe. But here true and false are not to be represented in numbers. They are not to be represented in number. You have to explicitly use true or false. Yeah. Now where we are going to use this variable, yeah, most of our relationship operators actually use this particular thing. So we'll see how exactly we can utilize. Yeah. For example, let's say I have a equal to 10. Yeah, and then I have integer b equal to 20. Yeah, now I just wanted to print, okay, what is the value of a greater than b. By any chance a is greater than b. By any chance a is greater than b. I wanted to print it. Is a is greater than b. Yeah, let's see what happens. Yeah, it says false. A is not greater than b. So whenever we are trying to do this kind of relational operations, anything less than b, sorry, anything less than other thing, anything greater than other thing. So this kind of thing, whenever we do it, right, then the result is going to be boolean type, and that we are going to use it heavily in our decision making statements like if else, etc. Yeah, so that we'll see it in the next video. But boolean is another variable which is quite often used in our programming to indicate the outcome of something, like could be an operation, relation, comparison, or anything else, but it always represents something is true or something is false. So that is another data type that we often use. So essentially in Java you have primitive data types like byte, short, integer, and long as 4 number type, float and double for the decimal number types. Then you have char and then boolean, which is another 2. So these are the 8 primitive data types in Java that you need to remember. Yeah, and you need to understand. And most often we'll use in terms of numbers, we'll use int heavily, and for decimals we'll use float or double heavily, and char and boolean are quite often used. Yeah, so these are system built-in data types, or what we call it as primitive data types. It comes with compiler, and compiler understands whenever you write int, compiler understands you wanted to represent an integer number. Yeah, that's why we call it as system built-in data types or primitive data types. Yeah, now apart from this, Java also defines one special class called string to represent string. String is nothing but your words or line of text or something like this. Yeah, for example, name. Yeah, I wanted to represent name as a string. So these are not one letter, right? If it is one letter, we can always use it in char. Yeah, and remember, char is always represented in single quote. It is single quote. Yeah, if you put it like this in double quote, it becomes a string. Yeah, so char should be represented in single quote. Yeah, whereas string is double quote. Anything in this is string. Yeah, in double quote is string. For example, yeah, so this is a string. Yeah, and this is a class, a ready-made class. Yeah, that's why this is capital S. Remember, all primitive data types, int, float, everything else is all lowercase. Yeah, these are primitive data types, whereas string is a class name. Yeah, that's why it is uppercase. Remember. Yeah, and you can always use, and this is heavily used, another data type. Of course, this is not primitive data type, this is user defined data type. So it comes as a library in Java, and but it is commonly used across. That's why knowing string is one important thing, how to define string, etc. Yeah, and the same thing we have seen in main also, right? It takes an array of string as argument. That means it takes multiple strings as argument. Yeah, so that's another thing. And if you wanted to print it, you simply use shout name, for example. Yeah, print it. Yeah, so this is how basically string is used. Yeah, string is very important thing from your interview point of view also, because there are a lot of programs which deal with string, which are possible, and you can expect few such programs coming in your interview. Yeah, so we will do some examples using string in the next video.